in this day and age, if there's OJ's blood and somebody else's blood, right? OJ was O negative. Super,
I think so, yeah.
Super rare blood type.
Yeah.
Super rare blood type.
Sounds right.
But the other, it was a
B.
Type B.
Type B.
They were not able to link any kind of DNA evidence to Charlie.
Now, the way to play devil's advocate, you would say this. If you have 2 root hairs in item 27, right? You'd run those hairs for DNA. Okay. Is there DNA in 1994? Kind of.
Right.
Not
it's
really.
Brand new.
There's no touch DNA.
Right.
There is DNA. They do. Barry Scheck and Noof, they all know about it. Blazier, and they kind of have it. There is some sort of DNA. So you do have blood. You could blood type, right? So if you knew who Ehrlich was, you could say, what's your blood type? You're a B. It still doesn't prove he did it.
Right. There was no way. How do you know who you're looking for?
Right. Now, in the database, when Ehrlich got pinched in the 70s, the 80s for guns, weapons, coke with Nancy Grace in 85, are his fingerprints in the database? Probably. So did they run the fingerprints through the system and did it kick out that it was him? And they said, no, no, no.
Who what do you mean?
LAPD. Or look, I don't know. I don't have the access to the evidence like that. So what I'm saying is either LAPD ran the fingerprints and it kicks back that it's Ehrlich, or it doesn't kick back to anybody.
Okay. So maybe like,
what if he's not in the database because he gets busted in Georgia? He's in Atlanta when he gets busted. California, is there a database in 94? Probably, but I don't know.
There may not have been though. If he's got, when was he busted again?
85. And then he goes to jail in 87. He's busted in early 80s, late 70s.
Was he ever busted after these murders?
Yes, in the Vegas robbery when he's with OJ again, the dynamic duo. Oh my
God, so that he was part of the Vegas robberies.
The dynamic duo.
And why does that never come up in the documentary?
Which documentary?
I mean, the documentary, I think it's the OJ documentary. It is. It's the one I think on ESPN. And it starts.
They don't say, well, they know Ehrlich's with them. They know there's like 5 guys with them. They do talk about the Vegas robbery. That's in
But they never
07.
connect the players in it.
Look, there were 2 Charlies at the Vegas robbery. Charles Cashmore and Charles Ehrlich. There's 2 Charlies. Now watch. If somebody had just read OJ's book, put a couple things together. Oh, remember? Oh, wait, there's 2 Charlies with OJ in Vegas robbery. Oh, that's that guy's a mafia. Oh, that's kind of weird. OJ said there was a Charlie with him. Oh God, is that the same Charlie from the book?
Right. But they never put it together.
No one
for whatever reason.
It out.
So this guy, again, lucky.
Yep.
Luckier than OJ.
Dude, this guy is like, I'm telling you, he's called me on the phone crying before. He's called me on the phone. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? What are you doing? And he starts like,
so when did breaking down. So when did he, so not only,
he didn't know who I was at first at all. He's like, how do you, he goes, you sure know a lot about me.
But hang on. So before we get to that, they never found either they never had a fingerprint match.
Correct.
From the times that he went in.
Or they ignore it.
Or they just completely ignored it, which, I mean, is so scandalous. If that's the truth.
That's what the LAPD did. They planted the glove behind the house. Furman planted the glove. There was EDTA in the blood on the socks and the back gate.
Why would Furman plant the glove? Why did he do that? They wanted one murder.
I love you.
They wanted one murderer there.
What do you want me to sleep over tonight? I mean, I just can't go into it all, man. Wow. There's EDTA in the blood. EDTA is a preservative. It's an anticoagulant. So the blood doesn't coagulate. It's found on the socks. It means it came from a test tube. It's found on the back gate 2 weeks later. Why are you collecting evidence from the back gate 2 weeks when everybody and their mother went to visit the crime scene? That's why Barry Scheck goes, what do we have here, Mr. Fong? What about that? Look at the photo. They show them. There's no blood on June 12th. Why is there blood here 2 weeks later? Bagged.
Oh, it's inexplicable.
So that's what I'm saying. They were planting evidence.
Yeah, it's really.
Van Natter couldn't say where he put OJ's blood.
Yeah.
Johnny Cochran said, cover up. Andrea Mazzola was taking a nap on the couch. And that's when Van Natter went into a trash bag and put OJ's blood sample in there. And she had her eyes, what? Like, they're just like, what are you guys doing?
You know, I got to say, OJ deserved this not guilty verdict.
Yes.
They fumbled it so bad.
Dude.
He absolutely deserved this not guilty verdict.
They hated the LAPD. The riots just happened. They found out the Furman said he planted evidence on other black people for years. Talked about beating people to a pulp. The blood on the ceiling. Done.
I mean, he's hopefully burning in hell. But from a legal standpoint, it's like, what are you supposed to do with all that?
One of the most.
I want to find this guy guilty, but you guys are making it so hard,
right? And you have to think for Marcia Clark and Darden and Hodgman and Kellberg and the other gal, I forgot her name. You almost feel bad for them because you're kind of. You made a good point.
Yeah,
you're kind of like across the way from you is the dream team, the New York Yankees.
Yeah,
Sheck, Neufeld, Shapiro, Cochran. They're going to destroy you if you don't have your stuff real tight.
Yeah,
real
and
tight.
It was not. So
they had Barry Sheck do the closing argument. I met Barry. I talked to him for a little bit. After they saw Barry Sheck, they had him do the closing, not Bob Shapiro. It was Johnny Cochran and Barry Sheck. That's how brilliant that guy was. They saw him in the trial and they're like, Shapiro goes, have him do it. These guys were the best attorneys.
Sharp. Yeah, brilliant. So brilliance mixed with the opposite on the prosecution side. Just bumbling, corrupt, lying scumbags. And
Ito's trying to so, I don't hate Ito. Some people rag on Ito.
So God knows why they weren't able to find a fingerprint match for Charlie. He just got off.
Did they run the hair?
Yeah. No physical evidence tying him to the scene. But what's wild is that he kept running with OJ. These guys were they friends?
After 5 years. Remember, they're dark for 5 years.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So they became really friends because we're talking decades now.
Tied. That's why the screenplay says, he goes, I don't want to say too much about the night of the murders. And OJ wrote a book about that and I can't add too much to that. But let's just say that night tied the two of us together for the rest of our lives.
Right. Of course. Because now you have this huge secret between you two.
And guess when Ehrlich in Vegas, when they go to Tom Scotto's wedding, that was a wedding that weekend. OJ said, you're going to go do something for me. I need you to get my memorabilia back. He goes, I don't want to do it. He goes, well, I'd hate to see things break down for you, seeing as there's no statute of limitations on double murder. That's in the confession.
Wow.
He hated OJ.
I got this thing over your head. They can't recharge me, but they can charge you.
And he made Ehrlich go.
Wow. So, and Ehrlich did time for that robbery as well?
No, they all flip on OJ. They all get probation. OJ gets 9 years.
Oh, interesting. So they flipped on OJ, even though he had this thing hanging over his head?
They had to flip him. They're all going to go to jail for kidnapping. So Ehrlich, they all flip on OJ.
Why wouldn't OJ tell on Ehrlich to get out of that?
He can't, that has nothing to do with the Vegas. He can't get anything to do with that. That can't erase his Vegas. He could tell Ehrlich, you better stick up for me or I'm going to squeal on you. But at that point,
they were so happy to have him. He was going down.
Yeah. There's too many, there's 5 other guys with them.
Yeah. But they want OJ.
Oh,
they it doesn't matter what he says.
Him on the date, October 3rd.
Yeah.
And the judge says, this isn't about the murders. They literally sentenced him on the exact day of his acquittal.
Yeah. I know the girl. I do comedy. I started comedy with the girl whose mom sentenced him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Glass?
Yeah. No, Wolfson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a couple of judges, but I think Glass was oh God.
So anyways, so when did Charlie, how Charlie got off? He didn't do time for that.
Correct.
When does he and how does he confess?
In 2017, he comes forward through I won't say the guy's name, through somebody, goes to the producer.
So he comes to a production company in LA.
He knew this producer in Vegas. I know the guy. I was softly partnering with him, but now he hates me and tries to sue me and threatens me every freaking time he can. He came to the guy and he goes, I want to tell you a story. And the producer's like, okay, go ahead. And then when he heard it, he's just like, okay, I have to tape you.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be taped. And then we're going to go get $10 million.
From who?
Hollywood.
Right. And did he sell that story to Hollywood?
I brought a $20 million deal from Sony Pictures to them. I was their partner.
Wow. Oh, that's how you met Charlie.
I was a producer. Wow.
Did you get him that money? Did you guys get that money?
Well, here's the best part about Hollywood, and I love you, Hollywood. They barred me from the lot, wouldn't let me go to the meeting. I said it with the vice president of Sony, one of the vice presidents, and they went to the meeting without me. And played the tape and showed him the screenplay. And that guy's still partnering with the guy today. And I introduced both of you guys together. And you're still friends together because of me. You're welcome. Did they get the deal? No. The deal fell through because Hollywood, they're like bullies and they wanted to, back end and we'll give you $1 million. They're like $10 million. They asked for crazy numbers.
Yeah,
they wanted back end ownership, crazy numbers.
And also it's possible that would never have seen the light of day.
He's
anyways.
a felon. Like you're going to pay a felon that wait, what are we paying this guy for? But it's like Goodfellas. Henry Hill comes forward, Jimmy Burke.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. The Irishman. It's like, look, the guy's trying to tell you a story. He's not going to say he murdered anyone.
Yeah.
On page 50 of the script, you ride in a white Bronco.
Yeah.
It's an awesome story, man. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. It's an awesome story. But if he's not going to out and say he did it, he's
trying to say OJ did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know.
And for political reasons too. Yeah. I'm actually not shocked that they didn't get the money.
But here's the important part that you need to know. This is why I flipped on you guys. Because you tried to snake me. And that's why I'm talking. I wouldn't have talked. See, if they just played me cool, like I told Ehrlich, if you tell me the truth, I'll leave it alone. But he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. And neither could the producer. They couldn't do it. They asked for this. And now they got it.
And now Ehrlich's suing you?
He's suing people based on a source and partly myself.
I see.
And a reporter named Bob Norman.
Okay. And he's not worried that being a public figure or coming out from hiding is going to reopen anything.
Well, he just got interviewed on CNN talking about he's OJ's best friend and spent Christmases with Justin and Sydney. That's disgusting. And he was
disgusting.
Another woman who I told about the story too, and she gave me a bunch of attitude, and then CNN wouldn't let me tell Caitlin Williams either.
If you have all of this evidence, have you brought it to the LAPD?
I brought it, yeah. Yes.
Okay. And how have they received
multiple times?
They've received it.
Oh yeah.
And how has that gone? They haven't gotten back to you.
They don't care. No, I met with them multiple times.
Okay.
And I'm not even supposed to say that.
But they haven't, but my point is they see the evidence and then they don't follow up.
They haven't investigated one thing. They can't run the evidence. The DA has to approve it. There's a court order.
Okay. So it's really the DA that's holding up.
And the DA laughed at me on the phone and then hung up on me twice.